Hey, welcome to Telltale Tuesday. I'm Callie, and today I'm going to talk about publishing and particularly about whether or not you can publish a previously published poem. So I'll give you a couple of different scenarios. Let's say you wrote a poem and submitted it to a poetry journal, and that poem got accepted. And then 2 years later, you publish that same poem in a poetry collection, either a self-published poetry collection or a poetry collection published by a poetry press. The long and short answer is yes, you can publish a poem that has been previously published. So when a journal or a magazine or anyone publishes your poem, they generally acquire what's called First North American serial rights, which basically means that they have the rights to publish your work first, and then after, the rights revert back to you, which means you can publish it again in a place like a poetry collection. The thing that you have to remember is if you publish a previously published poem, so if you take that poem that was published in that magazine and you publish it in that collection later, you need to acknowledge the place where it first appeared. And that acknowledgement usually comes in the form of an acknowledgements page, where you would say something like, thanks to name of journal for publishing name of poem in issue number 5, whatever it is. Similarly, let's say you want to work backwards. So if you publish a poem, and this is where it gets tricky, if you publish a poem in a full-length collection, and then you want to publish that poem in a journal, there could be a challenge because most journals will not accept previously published poems. So it's easy to go the other way, right? To have single poems accepted and then to publish those single poems as part of a larger collection later. It's more challenging to go from a larger collection to a smaller collection. So the thing you want to remember is when you are submitting to magazines, read their submission policy. Some magazines do accept previously published poems. Most do not. And then if you want to publish your collection and you have some poems from that collection published at a later date, that's totally fine. You just need to acknowledge those presses or those magazines or those journals when you publish. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or email me at hello@telltalepoetry.com and we can chat more about it. Thanks so much. Happy submitting.